What's up, football fans? I'm Matt Scalici. I'm joined by Wes Sinor. The former hosts of the 5-Star Super Show are coming to you live right now from.
Yep. I don't have my glasses, so
I know
if people could tell it's me.
Well, Wes got eye surgery in the interim since our last episode, so he can now see perfectly clearly. It's really upped his scouting abilities. We're here on the Alabama Crimson Tide Facebook page from AL.com on a Friday because we're just kind of wanting to relive some fond memories here with you about one of our favorite players that we've gotten to work with in our time at AL.com. Yesterday on this page, Lawrence Sisler had a great interview with Mack Wilson, who, as you Bama fans now know, has gone on to a really successful start to his NFL career. He is he started, I believe, 16 games or maybe 15 games for the Cleveland Browns last year.
I don't know how many he started, but I know he had a pretty good year.
Racked up tons of tackles, had an interception, had a really great debut as a rookie in the NFL. And, you know, it got me thinking, Wes, about the time that we, you know, anytime we see these guys that you and I have covered when they were in high school, it's kind of a cool moment for us because we knew them back before they were NFL stars, even before they were college players. And Mack Wilson was definitely one that, you know, I would say if you watched the interview yesterday, and you should go back and watch it, he's got a big personality. He's a fun guy. And we really got to see that kind of very early on before a lot of other people did.
Yeah, we brought Mack on for a really dumb video series that we had at AL.com called the 5-Star Super Show. And this was one of the most embarrassing things that I've been a part of in my life, I think. But
you can tell why it makes me so happy.
It was a dance-off between me and Mack Wilson.
Well, and we'll
this is something that still exists on the internet for some reason.
We'll go into the premise of it a little bit. But yeah, we did a series a while back where we would bring on, you know, up-and-coming star recruits, and we wanted to do something fun with them. We didn't want to just be the same old.
Well, let's remember what we used to do before the Super Show.
Yeah,
we would just talk about recruits in our Birmingham News office on a bad camera, and it was really boring.
Yeah, it was really boring.
So the next year we were like, well, we got to cover recruiting in some video form. Let's have fun with it and goof off with some of these recruits. And
somehow no one at AL.com stopped us from doing that. So we got away with it for a long time. And we got, among other players, we got Mack Wilson. And we just thought this would be a good opportunity, since we had him on the page yesterday, to kind of go back and relive some of that fun that we had with him in the video. And we'll show a couple of clips of it. The first thing I want to show you guys is, you know, we did have an interview portion of this video that we made with him, but we didn't really want to make it too serious. We made it about dancing, because when we talked to Mack, and I don't remember if you set that up originally, Wes, or if it was somebody else, but when we talked to Mack, he said, I love to dance. I want to dance in this video.
That was by request. That was not our idea. It was a dance off. But
so we interviewed Mack, among other things, about, you know, his love for dance and how it blended with football. So we're going to show you a quick clip from the video right now that includes a little interview piece about that.
Run, 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 run.
What's up, man? Yeah. So, let me just. So, which football player in history, in your mind, is the best dancer? The best like end zone celebration dancer?
Odell Beckham.
Odell, yeah. What's your favorite thing you've seen him do?
The whip.
Yeah.
Nay, he's done all the popular dances that I've seen.
Yeah. He's like a pioneer in end zone dances, yeah.
This was, of course, back before any of the Fortnite dances.
He's a pioneer.
He was a pioneer. The cool thing about that clip, though, I think, is when you go back and look at it, he's talking about Odell Beckham, who is now his teammate in the NFL.
Well, is he still with the Browns?
I think they just recently acquired him, right?
I thought he played last year with the Browns, but then I
He
thought
did.
he left. I could be wrong. Patrick might want to confirm that. I don't know.
Yeah.
He
keeps
he's
more
still
track.
on the Browns.
He's still with the Browns.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a cool thing. And, that's a thing that we get to hear about these guys sort of. I know one of the questions you and I always ask them is like, who are your NFL role models and heroes? And it's a cool thought to think of these guys becoming teammates with those guys. And even I thought one good quote that Mac had with Lauren yesterday, he was talking about how when he got to play against the Patriots, he's basically, pressuring, he's trying to sack and hit Tom Brady, whose rookie season was when Mac was born, the year Mac was born.
That's insane.
So it's just kind of a wild, that's an element of the NFL that we don't get on the college side, is you get to, these guys are interacting with guys that they've literally known about and watched their whole lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mac, I would say one thing, Wes, that stands out to me about our time with him making that video was, I think a lot of these guys are up for what we're doing and having fun, but Mac was, I would say, really kind of ran the show. He really was, I would say, very confident in what he wanted to do, and he was kind of leading the way. He was really directing the shoot in some ways.
Yeah, I remember. I remember we shot it at Carver High School, and like they had like a workout room or something with a bunch of mirrors. It kind of looked like a dance room.
It looked like a dance studio, which I'm not sure why you would have that.
It was perfect. Perfect spot. And he knew what he wanted to do. I think, we talked about it obviously beforehand, but you're right. He I don't think it would have been as good if he didn't take as much direction as he did.
Oh, he was 100% game for it, which is so rare with college athletes. And Mac, we definitely got that out of him later when he was in college too. We would sometimes just hand him the microphone when we would get to a media day, and Mac would just be the host.
He's one of the players that you could always rely on to be good on camera.
Good shot, good photo.
He was always good on camera, and I just think that. Because some of the players that we would have on the show sometimes were a little more shy, and it was kind of harder to kind of get good stuff out of them. But Max seemed to be, came naturally to him.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with Mac too was when we were covering him, he was a big deal. He was a 5-star player, but there were other guys at his position that it kind of seemed like Alabama and Auburn maybe had higher up their list than Mac. Even at Alabama, when Mac signed, I wouldn't say he was overshadowed, but I think there were other guys in that class that were kind of viewed as more likely to play and start early than Mac was.
I can't remember exactly what Alabama had his freshman
year. Well, they signed
year.
Ben Davis in the same class as Mac.
But they were both 5-stars, but I think Ben Davis was considered to be ranked higher, I guess, overall. And then again, I can't remember exactly who was on the Alabama roster his freshman season, but obviously Mac.
Well, he was there.
I
believe he got there when Reuben Foster was already playing as well. So there were so many talented guys, but Mac really did come in and make an immediate impact as a freshman at that position, and played a lot on special teams too. I think his freshman year was when he knocked a guy's tooth out on a kick return. Which is always impressive.
Yeah.
We keep talking about Max dancing, and I feel like we need to show the clip of him, of him actually busting a move. So let's go ahead and do that.
All right, I think I got it.
So you can see Wes's costume on display for a second there, which I'm really glad got in that clip. But yeah, so one thing I wanted to ask you about, Wes, with not particularly this video, I guess. But you know, in general, you got to work with Mac more recently.
Yes.
When you were working on a couple of really cool video series that you did for AL.com that sort of focused on two guys that Mac has had dealings with over his career. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we, you know, this is the third year that we've done Road to the Pros, our series where we follow one Alabama player and one Auburn player as they go through, you know, their NFL draft process and kind of tell their life story up to this point. And so, you know, this year we did Henry Ruggs III at Alabama and Marlon Davidson at Auburn. Those are both guys that, you know, Henry is from Montgomery. Marlon is from Greenville, but spent a lot of time in Montgomery growing up. And so, you know, Mack Wilson obviously knows both of these guys. He actually, and I didn't know this until recently, but Mack Wilson started his high school career at Lee High School with Henry Ruggs and then moved to Carver, where he played with Marlon Davidson. And then obviously Henry and Mac both went to Alabama together. So, you know, Mac still works out at the same gym in Montgomery where Marlon and Henry were training for the NFL Combine. You know, it just seemed like an obvious person that I would need to interview for both series. So I talked to him about Marlon a little bit, and then I talked to him about Henry a little bit, and I split the interview into each of the series. And, you know, as expected, Mac was a good interview, gave me a lot of good quotes, and was a good source for the series for sure.
Definitely go and check out the Road to the Pros series if you have not seen it yet. If you're Alabama fans who are likely watching this right now, go and watch the series on Henry Ruggs III that Wes did. It's just outstanding. 4 episodes of it that we kind of followed him all the way from his time as a recruit through his college career and as he got ready for the NFL draft. And then Wes has kind of the moment that Henry gets drafted. So really cool series to watch. And Wes, you always do a great job with those, but
thank you.
You really did knock it out of the park this year. So well done.
It.
Before we wrap up,
we've got some comments right here. There's a Carver High School student in the chat.
All right.
Ben Davis is still on the team, I believe, right? He's still at Alabama. Deontay Scott wants to know.
I believe this was his final season.
Was it?
I believe he had senior day. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he just had his senior day. We have someone asking, can Wes Sinor please recreate some of his dance moves from this episode of 5-Star Super Show? Wes, I don't know if you've got enough room where you are right now.
Let's go with that. That sounds.
You can't do it right now. Because
of the room.
It's okay. I think it's fine that you can't do it right now because actually I think we do have a short clip we can use right now. Patrick, go ahead.
I hate you.
Back in the days on the boulevard I landed, we used to kick routines and the presence was fitting. It was the abstract.
And me the 5-footer, I kicks the mad style, so step off the Frankfurter.
Oh God. Listen, I want everybody to know how restrained we were with this. We really didn't use most of Wes's dance.
Yeah. If you want to see all of my dance
there
moves,
should be a link in the comments.
Because who wouldn't after watching that clip?
Yeah.
We can.
I will say this. I think you utilized more of your lower body in your dance, whereas Mac was a lot more arm driven with his
my thighs
move.
were killing me.
There's a lot of like pinky. He's kind of doing some like Doctor Strange stuff. If you know when he's so different styles. Everybody has their own way of doing it. So
yeah, that's only probably like the 4th time I had danced
in your entire life. So I've been present for probably half the time.
I went to my high school. I went to my high school prom and didn't dance the entire time.
That makes perfect sense. That does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, I was a very boring date to the prom.
So, all right. Well, listen. I will reiterate to everybody again. Please go and find Lauren Sisler's interview from yesterday. It should be not too far down your stream here on the Alabama Crimson Tide page on Facebook here, and check it out. Great interview that she did yesterday with Mac, and we've got some great stuff coming up next week as well on this page that you will find on Monday. Should be arriving Monday. We have this very cool piece that we've been working on for a long time that our fellow producer Laura Goldman worked on, about the surgeons that work with the team at Alabama, and them telling us some stories we've never heard before about how they were able to kind of, save the careers of some of the most important players at Alabama. So really, really cool, interesting stuff that'll be coming early next week. So keep an eye out for that. And we're gonna try to keep doing these going forward. Just kind of a look back at the guys that we've had a chance to cover before they hit it big. And Wes, I appreciate you being a good sport.
Yeah. No
as
problem.
always. I can't get you to do stuff like this anymore, but at least we can look back at it and fondly remember.
Maybe one day we'll do it again.
Yeah, well, when we do our episode about Jalen Hurts, we can talk about how we mentioned him in the lyrics for our rap battle that we did. Yep. Yeah, so look forward to that, folks. Everybody have a good weekend, and enjoy the outside, and let's keep our fingers crossed for more football coming up soon.
Yep, fingers crossed.